Max Bass, 1966 to 1995, head football coach and athletic trainer. Tell me about your first, when you got the job and you came to Newnan High School. What was it like at that point, 1966?
Well, we didn't have a lot of facilities. I had just built a new stadium, and we were the first to play in it. And I came here and they won 3 games in the last 4 years, and the equipment and all that kind of stuff. The Board of Education had paid them out. They'd been in debt, and they had paid them out. And I never will forget, I'd spent $10,000 buying new stuff for the kids because, you know, that's the safety stuff, your helmets and your shoulder pads and things that I felt like the kids had to have, plus new jerseys and all that kind of stuff. And Mr. Evans, who had hired me, called me in and said, "Max, I don't really want to get involved in what you're doing," but said, "You've already spent $10,000, and last year the Board of Education had to bail them out $10,000, and I hate to go back to them again." And I said, "Mr. Evans, if we don't make it, just take it out of my salary." I was making about $7,500, so I don't know where he'd have got it from. But anyway, we probably made $20,000 or $30,000 that first year. And we won and filled up the stadium, and that's what, you know, that's about the only way you make money anyway. And the people in town were very generous in giving us things too.
What goals did you have for the team and for the student athletes in general?
Well, Steve, I think what happens is when you go into a losing situation, you got to change the mindset to the kids. I know I went into Bowles in Jacksonville when I first went there, and they were the Bulldogs, and I hung up a big sign that said, "Fido don't live here no more." And it was the same thing with it. They were the Tigers when I came here, and they had lost all these games, and I would put up all kinds of signs and things and kept saying things myself, "If it is to be, it's up to me," and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to change the concept from losing to winning, and I think we did that. I took them to the first football camp I think they'd been to, and I'll tell you a little story about that football camp. We went to camp, and I told them, I said, "No parents or nobody can come until Thursday." Well, on Wednesday, it rained, and Johnny Brown came down and took a lot of pictures, and there's a little uniform. When you're wet, your uniform kind of sticks to you and all that kind of stuff. And their eyes look hollow and all that kind of thing. I think every parent came to football camp to see if the kid was still alive. But we had changed, you know, some concept of things and discipline a little bit. And we turned them into winners. In fact, they were 9-0-1 that year, I think. And the state champion beat us. But, you know, I don't think the players were any different the year before I got here or the years before. I think it was just changing the concept and maybe doing what the kids could do instead of doing what some coach wants to do, you know. And if they could run a certain thing and do it well, you just did it, you know, that way instead of trying to force the kids to do something that they couldn't do. I think that was another factor in it.
Tell me about the first homecoming and how they were trying to split the black kids from the football team and the white kids from the football team, and how that ended up.
All right, this was about 1959, and when the government told us that you got to integrate, but it didn't tell us how to do it. And I don't think anybody in the administration or coaching or anything else knew how to do it. And again, Central had a good program, and we had a good program. And the Central kids, a lot of them didn't want to give up what they had and come to Newnan. And some of the Newnan kids knew they was going to lose their job, you know, because there couldn't but so many play and so many start and all that kind of stuff. But they elected a homecoming queen, and the problem with it is about 20% black and probably about 80% white. And the kids probably didn't even know each other, who they was voting for. So if the black kids all voted for the black kid and the white kids voted for white, that's 80-70, and the white kid won. And later on, they got smart enough, I guess, to know that they just elect a black one and a white one and give each other a chance, you know. And there was white folks marching on the right side of the gym, and the black folks were marching in front of it. And the one story that meant more to me than anything else, two little black kids came in. All of our kids were getting ready to play the game, and all the kids on the team was in the locker room, and I didn't know who was going to start. And there was some black leadership out there that was trying to get the black not to play, and there was white trying to get the white not to play, all that kind of stuff. And those two black kids came in and sat down in front of my office over there on the floor. And then one of them finally said, "Coach, you worried?" And I said, "Well, I don't know who's going to play, who's not." And I said, I'd like for everybody to play and the whole team be together. And they said, "Well, let me tell you something. We're going to play." And all the black kids are going to play. Said, "You've never done anything but something good for us, and you've always been fair with us," and said, "That's the only thing we can expect, and we know that you just want to help us." And that meant a lot to me, because that's really what I coach for.
Going from there, what do you think the relationship is between Newnan High School and the community, and how important is that?
I think it's good. I don't, you know, you're always going to have some people on both sides that are a little bit against things and all, but I think in general, I couldn't say too much for, you know, the coaching staff. We integrated it. We did things, you know, and the school system was, and I got to mention Henry Selden, who was like a father to me. Henry was older than I was and smarter probably than I was too. But anyway, I think he wanted it to go because he knew it was the best thing for the kids. And I think once it got into the thing and got involved in it, that all that prejudice and all that other stuff kind of went out the window. And I know some of them have white friends and black kids, and the kids, you know, they smart. They know what's going on, so I don't think it's no big deal. And I think all through the community, you know, I see kids every day. In fact, I saw some today, 2 or 3. I saw one of the Powell boys. I had the Powell family. If we had a soccer match, they were going to be there. If we had a baseball match, and I got kind of, I guess, embarrassed taking their money all the time because we charged at the gate. Finally, I just gave them a season pass. And there must have been 20 of them. And I let them into everything. And they were some of the best supporters. And, you know, this means something for every kid when the parents support them like that. And I went to my granddaughter's band recital, and one of those little Powells was in there, and I saw them coming out, and I told 2 or 3 of them, I said, "Y'all ought to just get you a bus to travel in because there's so many of you." I saw one of those Powell boys up there this morning, but they were good supporters. We had Michael that went on a basketball scholarship, and that little quarterback went to Jacksonville. That's who they are. There's 2 or 3 intermingled families that married into it and all. They go to everything.
Tell me about the importance of radar to your program.
Well, I got the idea of a trainer from the Texas coaches, and probably where I got it from to start with. Grant Taft was a good friend of mine. He was the head coach at Baylor and now head of American Football Coaches Association. But all the Texas coach had trainers, and I hired Harry Mullins when I was in graduate school at Southern Miss. His brother was the head trainer at Ole Miss, and we brought him in, and it was such an improvement for our program, and I think public relations wise. And then later on we did get radar, and he stayed with us, I guess, for 30 years or more, and was just perfect. Both he and Harry Mullins both were. And Marshall Smith did a good job for us too. he went with the Detroit Tigers and later went with the Columbus school system and then Troy State as trainer. But, you know, Steve, I've always been this way. I wanted to help people get where they're going, and I felt like if you got enough folks to do that, if they get where they're going, then you always kind of get what you want, you know, and you help people like Marshall and them get with the Detroit Tigers, or Mullins, who went with Georgia Power and is executive with them now.